using the IR seeker and beacon for the Hot Shots competition. You can see that the sensor has a bump in the front of it. It is version 2. And the VI for using it should be built into your LabVIEW 2009. Open a blank VI targeted to NXT. You're going to go to NXT.io and then additional sensors and choose Hytechnic sensors to find the Hytechnic IR Seeker VI. Alright, let's look at the help menu. You can go up to help, show context help, and this shows all the wires that we can put in and have come out of our block. If you need more information, you can click on the link for detailed help. Probably the most important thing in the detailed help is this picture of the numbers that correspond to the directions. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 are on the left side of the sensor, 5 is right in front, and 6, 7, 8, 9 are to the right of the sensor. That's the direction that the infrared light will be coming from, or infrared signal will be coming from. I want our robot to turn to the IR beacon, and you have a couple choices for motor controls or motor blocks. You can use this motor control block, but I like the motor sync blocks more, and those are in NXT native IO. Go to output, and then I want mine to turn unlimited, so I'm going to grab a sync unlimited, and at some point I need my robot to stop, so I'm going to need a sync stop. These are like the blocks we used in the NXT Mindstorms, or NXTG. Alright, I want my robot to keep turning until it finds that the IR beacon is in front of it. So I need to have that all in a while loop and create the constants we need for our VIs. Right now my sensor is plugged into port 1. Let's give my motor ports, create constant. I'm using my little NXT motors for driving this test robot. And they are going to be hooked up to ports B and C. I want it to be able to turn, so I'm giving it steering of 100, and I want it to turn kind of slow so that right when I find the IR beacon, I will be able to stop quickly. Nice thing about these sync motors is you can have the motors come out of the block and into your next block, so you don't need to create more constants. One last thing, we need to tell our loop when to stop. So I'm going to the comparison palette, and I want to know when the IR beacon is giving a 5 to the sensor. So I go to IR direction, and I want to compare that to the number 5. If it's a 5, I want to stop. Here's a pretty good little VI that should do the trick, but let's see if we can make it a little bit smarter. If the IR beacon is on the left of the sensor, I want my robot to turn left. If my IR beacon is on the right side, I want my robot to turn right so that it doesn't have to turn so much. I'm just going to make some space for a little bit of extra code. I want to test the direction against the number 5. If it's less than 5, remember from the picture, we need to turn left. If it's greater than 5, then it needs to turn right. So I'm put direction into the less than, and I also want 5 to go in there. If it's less than 5, I want it to give 1 turn number to the block. If it's greater than 5, I want to give the opposite turn, negative 100. That way then that will cause the block to turn in different directions. And I used a special comparison block from the comparison palette. Then all I'm going to do is wire this number coming out of this block into the steering. Command U cleans up your code, and you'll see that we have two things going on. We're checking the IR sensor, and we are also telling the motors to turn. Let's see how it works. I have my IR beacon turned on, and if it's on the right side, the robot turns the correct way. I only have a little bit of a problem with my code when it is facing the wrong direction. Doesn't seem to work, so I'll have to work on fixing that.